Ode to Autumn, Part 2. Here are some major works by John Keats, which include Ode on a Grecian Urn, Ode to Indolence, Ode on Melancholy, Ode to a Nightingale, Ode to Psyche, and the long poems Hyperion, Endymion, Lamia, Isabella, and Eve of Saint Agnes. As you've seen, the list contains the best of the odes by John Keats. Coming to the text, here's the first stanza. Seasons of mists and mellow fruitfulness, close bosom friend of the maturing sun, conspiring with him how to load and bless with fruit the vines that round the thatch eaves run, to bend with apples the mossed cottage trees, and fill all fruit with ripeness to the core, to swell the gourd, to plump the hazel shells with the sweet kernel, to set budding more and still more later flowers for the bees, until they think warm days will never cease, for summer has overbrimmed their clammy cells. So you can see in the first stanza, there is imagery, there is picture, but then it also activates your taste buds. First, Keats calls autumn season of mists and mellow fruitfulness. It is a season of mists. You find you have two rounds of autumn here in India, otherwise, it's autumn, spring, summer, autumn, and winter. It's a season of mists and ripe fruits. You see, taste of the fruits is very good between late September to November. Close bosom friend of the maturing sun, Keats calls autumn a bosom friend of the maturing sun, the sun which lingers on. So it's the sun, and autumn is the friend of the maturing sun. So they both in liaison conspire to load and bless with fruit the vines that round the thatch eaves run. They together conspire. Conspires is usually not related to something um, very meaningfully, intently good meaning, but Keats uses conspiring, that is, both of them team together to load and bless with fruit the vineyards. You see, the vines that round the thatch eaves run. In the vineyards, there is ripe fruit, and to bend with apples the mossed cottage trees, and fill all fruit with ripeness to the core. And there is the mossed cottage trees are loaded with apples, and they are filled with ripeness. You must have noticed the taste of apples during September and October. So I can feel all your taste buds getting active. This is another image. To swell the gourd, to plump the hazel shells with the sweet kernel. So again, taste. You see the gourd, which is also full of taste as it becomes more round, more plump, more big, and the hazel shells are filled with sweet kernel. Hazel shells are some shells like our walnut fruit, walnut shells. So they are also filled to the core. And there is another imagery to set budding more. There's more and more of budding. And still more later flowers for the bees. When there is more budding, there'll be more flowers. When there'll be more flowers, there'll be more bees in order to suck nectar until they think warm days will never cease. These bees think that these warm, happy, lively days will never stop, will never cease, for summer has overbrimmed their clammy cells. So they've been producing more and more of honey, and their cells are overbrimmed. Their cells are full.